So this is the time that I accidentally had a night out with the basketball player Lebron James. It's 2012, I'm in Manchester, I've just done a gig and it hasn't gone well. I'm doing what any comedian does in that situation. I'm sat in a hotel bar on my own, drinking myself into oblivion. I turn to my right, there's a lady at the bar. She's about 6'8", American accent. I'm intrigued. I didn't do that, that's weird. Creepy. Anyway, I started up conversation with this lady. I was like, so, what do you do? She was like, I play basketball. I was like, wow, who do you play for? I play for the US women's basketball team. You into basketball? At this point, I have two options. Firstly, I tell her the truth, which is that my interest in basketball peaked with the 1997 release of the smash hit Looney Tunes vehicle, Space Jam. Or I lie. I went for the latter. I was like, yep, absolutely love basketball, big fan of the Boston Badgers? Is that a team? She bought it. We're talking, we're getting on really well. She's like, you should meet some of the guys. The guys, it turned out, were the US men's basketball team. All of a sudden, this guy's walking over to us. A guy that I would subsequently find out is the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James. He walks over to us. He's introduced to me. He's like, hey, LJ. I was like, hey, JW. Don't know why. Never called myself JW before in my life. I've never called myself JW since. But in the moment, I panicked and gave myself a nickname. Not only that, but in a moment of cultural insensitivity that belies the fact that I was at a boarding school in Wiltshire from the ages of 10 to 18 and hadn't had much interaction with basketball players before in my life, I looked down and realised to my horror that I'd extended a fist bump. It was exacerbated by the fact that LeBron James had an open hand for a handshake, like normal people do when they meet people. I then desperately tried to adjust and moved my fist bump into a handshake, just as he moved his handshake into a fist bump. I was basically playing a game of rock, paper, scissors with a man I'd never met before, which ended in me cupping LeBron James's fist and waggling it around a bit. Anyway, this awkward moment was very quickly brushed over. He then asked, hey, we want to go out in Manchester tonight. You from Manchester? I was like, yep, from Manchester, obviously. This voice screams Manchester. My parents are from Bury. So yep, I know Manchester really well. Anyway, clearly they bought the lie again. I was like, yes, this is perfect. Okay, this is fate aligning. Manchester is my city. I may not be from Manchester, but I was a student here. I know all the places to go out in Manchester. The Wetherspoons by the station, they've got an incredible happy hour there. There's Vodka Revs, where you can get a bucket of 5 Smirnoff Ice for a tenner. This is the highest paid sportsman in America, and I'm telling him where you can get a discounted bucket of Smirnoff Ices. Anyway, for whatever reason they decide that I'm their best bet, and I am given the task of chaperoning them to a club that evening. So I ended up taking the US men's basketball team to a nightclub in Manchester. I'm walking down the streets of Deansgate with the US men's basketball team. Cars are literally screeching to a halt so people can run out and have selfies with them. And I am walking along with them, feeling 10 feet tall. Well, not 10 feet tall, obviously stood next to them. I felt like a dwarf. I arrive at the nightclub that I had chosen. I walk up to the front door. I'm like, hey, I was just wondering whether me and my buddies could come in. The bouncer looks shocked, amazed, dumbfounded that the US men's basketball team are in Manchester and want to go into this nightclub. He lifts up the rope, he starts ushering them through. They walk into the nightclub. I'm looking around the smoking area, everyone's eyes are on me. A few people are thinking, is that Jack Whitehall with the US men's basketball team? I was like, yep, damn straight it is. That's who I roll with these days. This is my crew. Hashtag squad goals. Anyway, the basketball team all get into the club. I'm the last one in, and literally, as they walk towards the door of the club, the bouncer turns and puts the rope down in front of me. I look at the bouncer, I'm like, no, I'm with them. I promise you, I took them from the hotel. We're together. The bouncer was having none of it. I was like, mate, seriously, you cannot rob me of this. This is going to be the best night out of my life. You have to let me in. Blank face. He didn't believe me. He was having none of it. My night is over. My night with the US men's basketball team, hanging out, sipping gin and juice with LeBron James, has been ruined by this fucking dude. And then my guardian angel, LeBron James was the last member of the team to walk into the club. He turns around, he sees that I've been stopped at the rope by the bouncer, and across the smoking area, he shouts, "Hey, the white guy's with us." I was like, yes, I'm the white guy. White guy was allowed in, hung out with the team, sipping on gin and juice. That's a lie. What actually happened when we got into the club is they completely ignored me, and I was left alone and had to walk back to the hotel bar on my own and continue my night of drinking sans friends. But that is my story of spending the night with LeBron James and the US men's basketball team. I've never seen him since.